Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotion, and thank you again so much for our time together. This will be my last daily devotion, and I'm standing here looking back over this area. I can remember as a young boy, 14 years old, some of the young men around here taking me snipe hunting back there. Now, there's no such thing as a snipe, but you go out there in the middle of the night when the tide is out, get about a kilometer or so out, and then everybody would slowly turn off their headlamps because they were out floundering, catching these little flat fish in shallow waters, and then slip away, but only after they told you lots of stories about alligators. So I'm looking back here and having many fond memories of my youth. I want to talk to you today about the hearts of pastors and some of the challenges that they face. Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, "Am I not free? Am I not an apostle? Have I not seen Jesus our Lord?" Paul talked about the fact that he'd seen Jesus. He'd had revelations of Christ. In fact, for 3 years in the deserts of Arabia, Jesus taught Paul the gospel of salvation by grace. He said, "Are you not the result of my work in the Lord? Even though I may not be an apostle to others, surely I am to you, for you are the seal of my apostleship in the Lord. And this is my defense to those who sit in judgment on me." Now, isn't that fascinating? There were Christians that sat in judgment on Paul, that sat and judged Paul. Now sometimes as pastors, you look around, and I meet with pastors all the time, and they're very hurt, they're very broken. They've done nothing wrong. But people sat down and began to judge them. People sat down and began to say, and say all kinds of things against them. And these men claim no perfection, just like I claim no perfection. But these men are just doing their best to serve God. They're all people that they've led people to Christ. They've built great churches, and now people sit in judgment on them and blog about them or gossip about them in the church. And it's very painful for a pastor when people sit in judgment on them. And you know who it always is? It's the people who do nothing to support them. If you read through 1 and 2 Corinthians, in fact, right through here in the rest of the passage, you see that these people that sat in judgment on Paul were people that had never supported Paul, they'd never helped Paul, they'd never financially supported Paul. Paul always robbed of others to take care of them. And now these men come along and sit in judgment on them. So often, you and I, as Christians, are people that we don't understand that our pastors are not perfect. But listen carefully to the people who sit in judgment on their lifestyles. Listen carefully to them and then ask yourselves a few questions. These people that are sitting in judgment on them, are they people that support the work of the church? Are they people that honor the Lord with their tithes? Are they people that sow seed? Usually you'll find that the people that judge the pastors are the people that do nothing to support the work of God.